I finally finished these games, so I can put the characters in order. Not in order of who's the cutest, it's the order of appreciation of writing. So, just because they make me feel negative emotions doesn't mean I put them at the bottom. For this list, I'm not counting Ultra Despair Girls, the anime, any spin off, not any sort of cash grab like that. It's just the three mainline games. Also, in this list, I'm not counting Monokuma. I feel he's the direct line between the player and the developers. Same goes for the Monocubs. And, of course, with all things, this is just my opinion. Just my opinion, Henry Williams' opinion. It's not your opinion, it's my opinion. And if you don't like that, well, that's probably why you're watching this video, because that's what everybody's here for. Number 51. Mahiru Koizumi. A non-character. She is a pathetic excuse for a human being. She has two lines. She repeats them over and over. Her ultimate ability is almost entirely ignored. She keeps recording Mikan in compromising positions. Seemingly just to torment her, but it's not really clear why. The only character she gets is Hyoko, who latches onto her seemingly at random. It's not like she's done anything to deserve it. I mean, Hyoko's another story as well. They set her up right before she dies with this. It's a complete waste. Ultimate Imposter as an idea. This is separate from Fat Togami. This is a character attack on fans of Danganronpa 1. Monokuma, the devs, make fun of you for thinking that Togami would reappear. In fact, this whole thing that's been stringing you along the entire game has nothing to do with the story, and it's a waste of time. I'm sure some people think this is expert trolling and a stroke of genius. I don't.
Junko!
Teru Hanamura. I'm willing to give a pervert a chance, but he's a waste of space, and he's terrible. The only reason he's not any lower than this is the country accent. I laughed. Saika Mizono. You know, I liked her quite a lot at first. I was feeling for her. And for her first murder, she made it quite a good one. She really was a cold-hearted bitch. But she was pretty stupid. Inviting Leon to her room, he was way too much man for her to handle, and really, she got what was coming to her. So, this is where she ends up. Following hard on the heels of Sayaka, it's Leon Kawada. Leon suffers from many of the same problems as Sayaka. Slightly underdeveloped, but he comes across as a real asshole. During the first murder, it's obviously not self-defense. Team Danganronpa themselves, you may not know this, but they based all the females off of Sayaka and all the males off of Leon. So they got pretty tired of these two by the time development was finished and decided to kill the two of them first because they were sick of their faces. And that sort of comes across. So that's where he ends up. Hifumi Yamada. Hifumi is disgusting, and not in the way he's obviously disgusting as an anime fan and a fanfic writer. He's disgusting because he's a hypocrite. He lies to himself and he lies to everyone else about how he truly feels about real women. He starts off by saying that the only thing 3D is good for is to lather affection upon 2D. But as time progresses, you realise that he's been lying out of his ass the whole time, and that he lusts after 3D girls just as much as anybody else, but in a very creepy way. Hyoko Sayanji. Everybody hates Hyoko, and I get it. She's annoying, she's vulgar, she beats up on Mikan, she's weak and she's dependent. In my own mind, I just see her as several years younger than the rest of the cast. She's still irredeemable, but that's okay, not everybody has to be redeemable. I find her cartoonish cruelty pretty unique among the cast, so even though she is terrible, she ends up here. Tsumugi Shirogane. I decided not to conflate Tsumugi with the ending of V3, and just judge her on her own merits. She still isn't doing too well. I think the writers like to have some of the not-so-clever survive each game. Hina, Hiro, Kazuichi, Akane, Himiko, and Tsumugi here. But Tsumugi's not quite unintelligent, she just never drew too much attention to herself. She never had any sparkling moments. She was a plain Jane. Yes, that was completely designed, I know, just like everything else in these fucking games apparently. It doesn't make her any more interesting. Also, she got Cospox cosplaying Kaede, but she says they're all fiction? There's a lie in there. Kurumi Tojo. Mommy here isn't so bad. Her motivation is absolutely wild, and her plan to murder Ryoma absolutely rocked. I also appreciate how absolutely savage her execution was. But she's not a person, she's a machine. I can't get behind that. Chihiro Fujisaki. I should like Chihiro more. I love Mondo, so I can't. Chihiro let things get too far. By the time he decided he wanted to be strong, he'd spent years building himself into a lie. All of his character development was done after dying, and by a goddamn laptop. Sorry, Chihiro. Here's where you go. Himiko Yumino. Himiko doesn't make me feel feelings. Yeah. Ryoma Hoshi. When I first saw Ryoma, I thought it was Danganronpa's answer to Jotaro Kujo. He's a ghost of a man. I love his offer to be killed, and his very realistic attitude of not planning to survive until the end. I also appreciate his thorough attitude during class trials, and his investigative outlook. Under the hood though, there's not a lot to him. His catchphrase of, "You've still got a ways to go," doesn't impress me. After looking through his free time events, I realize there's nothing there. Looks like he's not getting where he wanted to go, he's getting 39th. Angie Inaga. Angie is the best. Angie is also definitely the worst. So, here she goes. Kaito Momota. The ultimate ass. Kaito was a mistake, but I don't hate him. He's a selfish asshole, dragging Shuichi in to be his sidekick, then leeching off him. He's way too overbearing. He's the first guy who's ever been nice to Maki, so she falls for him. Hard. Some people would say his motivational speeches fall flat every time. For me, they're hit or miss. The best things about him are the time him, Shuichi, and Maki spend together, his life-ending disease where he coughs blood, and his death, which was absolutely perfect and touched me. But this is no surprise. He had so much time to develop, and what we got wasn't good enough to put him any higher. Akane Owari. Akane is way too much woman for anyone to handle, apart from maybe Nekamaru. Her backstory is fucking great too. Meat and fighting, baby. Wait, is she Chie? If she was, she'd probably be number 1. Tenko Chabashira. I find Misandry cute, so I like Tenko. Apart from her complex for guys, she's a great person, and it's pretty tragic that Himiko chose Angie over her, even if Tenko was a little clingy. And she's retarded. Kaede Akamatsu. I'm not really into wholesome nice girls, and Kaede sounds like she's crying all the way through the first trial, so sorry. Makoto Naegi. Makoto is Mr. Vanilla Ice Cream. He's a nice guy. Hajime Hinata. Hajime is a bit more interesting, and he's a bit more real, so he gets 1 higher than Makoto. Kyoko Kirigiri and Chiaki Nanami. Yeah, okay, but they're the same person. The devs want me to love them, but they're not people. They're plot points and point men. Clever, pretty, cute girls. I see right through you, Kodaka. Aoi Asahina. Hina is cute, Hina has energy, Hina has fighting spirit. She has the resolve to kill everyone, including herself, to avenge her friend. Respect. Mikan Sumiki. Oh man, Mikan was tough to place. My first reaction to her was uncontrolled hatred. I couldn't stand her weakness, the way she sexualized. She seemed cartoonishly tragic, and she is. But I thought about her, I talked about her, I looked at her free time events, and she's had it hard. We don't know exactly how bad, but it certainly seems enough to make her into the unfixable mess we see in game. She's so past fixing, she's difficult to face up to try and help, to try and act normally toward. Nobody treats her right. Not Mahiru, not Hiyoko, not even Hajime, try as he might. How the game sexualizes her makes me sick, puts the blame on me. Mikan is the real tragedy of Danganronpa. Rantaro Omami. His VA did a really great job, and for the short time he gets, his free time events make him impressively interesting. But there's not much more to say about him. A really cool dude. Sonya Nevermind. Sonya gives the second game's cast a huge boost. She's unique. This gullible, kind-hearted, serial killer loving, subversive, intelligent girl has earned my respect. So glad Kazuichi didn't succeed with her. Yasuhiro Hagakure. It's the bomb. He's the nasty brother who hits on your girlfriend you never had. He's an anchor in the first game. Knowing he's too stupid to get away with murder is comforting. I'd hang out with the guy. Fuyuhiko Kazuryu. Baby gangsta. He swears, he feels, he has a redemption arc. Hell, I'd hang out with the guy. He's a damn fucking bastard. Maki Harukawa. Maki's pretty tough to place. She's total garbage for the first 2 chapters, so watching her come out of her shell for the rest of the game was so satisfying. She's the emotional core of the 3 bros in V3, and she's the most realistic girl of the whole game. Although, she fell for Kaito. Huh, sure, okay. Gonna cost you a few ranks, though. Celestia von Ludenberg. Celeste deserves some serious respect. She wants to buy a European castle and hire manservants to roleplay as vampires. Hell yeah. The way she sets up her killings and manipulates Safumi, seriously, magnifique. It's one of the best trials. Kibo. On one side, he's the weakling robot, the PC robot. He's a good boy, programmed that way. On the other hand, he's Twitch chat. That's even better. I bet in his head he was spamming LOL the entire time. Props to him for figuring out suicide is the only way. Usami's good, but Usami's theme is so good, she had to get this spot on the list. Junko. Aha, Henry. You already burst my eardrums and made me quit watching your stupid video with Junko, didn't you? Yes, I did. For Junko outside of the first game. Within the first game, she's the perfect concept for a villain. Unfortunately, they based all the games around her. The idea of someone who gets off in the world and even her own plans falling apart? Hell yeah. Kazuichi Soda. Thank God for Kazuichi. The everyman to cling to in the madness of Danganronpa 2. He's Mr. Hashtag Relatable. I wish we could talk. I think we'd be good friends, honestly. Peko Pekoyama. I put Peko here not because I like her very much, but because she's tied in with one of my favorite plot points of the series. Her relationship with Fuyuhiko, how she was too late to realize what she really was to him. Even her execution, that was 5 minutes of super sick tragic payoff, and caused Fuyuhiko's redemption arc. We have her to thank. Byakuya Togami. Yeah, I hate Byakuya too, but he's Seto Kaiba, that's the greatest. Byakuya is partially responsible for Toko's character being who she is. He's the embodiment of neutral evil. Fucking up Chihiro after death was pretty messed up. I can't take him fully seriously, but I do love him all the same. Fat Togami. It's Byakuya but with a heart. A glimpse at his true potential. And he's obese. That had me rolling around in confused laughter all through the start of the game. Mukuro Ikusaba. I'm judging this completely off of Danganronpa if, so I'm bending the rules slightly, but it's included in the game, so it's alright with me. Mukuro is the second best girl of the first game, but the only one I'd actually consider being with. She's a weapon with a weak heart. Her relationship with her sister is interesting, as is how we got to see her interact with the rest of the cast. Soldier GF? Shuichi Saihara. Shuichi is a little cutie, isn't he? The most interesting and human protagonist by far. Shuichi keeps getting it right, and he keeps getting punished for it. I have absolutely no problems with him, I just can't put a protagonist any higher than this. Mondo Awada. I have an irrational love for Mondo, but this is the absolute highest I can put him. He's a JoJo reference. Yes, he's not too clever, but he's got the spirit to make up for it. Watching him and Taka together was one of the best parts of the first game. His motive was heartbreaking. He's the yin to Chihiro's yang. I don't even see him as guilty for his murder. If only he had more self-control, Mondo. I think we'd get on. The Supreme Overlord of Evil, Gundam Tanaka. Danganronpa 2 has the best and worst parts of all of the games. Gundam was autistic, yes. He really is a good boy though, isn't he? He killed, but his motive was almost certainly pure. Hell, Nekomaru even agreed with him. I can totally sign off on him and Sonya together, even if it was a little bit out of the blue. At this point, my love for the top few is bleeding through. I'm sorry if it comes across sappy. During his execution, for a second I really thought something was going to happen. Seeing his fantasy destroyed right before his death, that was pretty savage. It was my favourite execution up until the third game. Turns out, he wasn't the Supreme Overlord of Evil, he was the hero they all needed. Nekomaru Nidai! The order of these two was probably decided by who killed who. Nekomaru is great, he's extra, he's hard as nails. Then he's Mekomaru, and he's somehow even better. I admire his desire to enjoy life to the fullest. Godspeed. Gonta Gakuhara. Of course. Gonta is the big boy who just wants to do right. He's like Sakura, but his naivete makes him a liability instead of a boon. His trial made me cry, he's the only one with that honor. He wanted to be a gentleman, but he just got used. Maybe in another world, Gonta. Number 8, Kokichi Oma. Yes, Kokichi is very well written. I hate him, but I don't only hate him. This weird asshole we had to deal with the whole game. We realized he was just a child prankster. I truly believe he hated the killing game. He was just a prick. Ultimately, for letting Gonta take the fall for a murder, he's irredeemable. He knew what Miu wanted to do to him. The onus was on him to expose her plan, but he decided just to kill her instead, and use Gonta for it. He is responsible for the second best trial in all the games, though. Burn in hell, you little Shoda. Korekio Shinguji. I really want to talk to Korekio. Whoever wrote him genuinely loves anthropology, I can tell. Every time I heard him talk, I was learning something. He's knowledgeable, yes, but he's wise, too. He's a serial killer who loves his dead sister? Yeah, okay, sure. We've all got a little something. Mew Aruma. Oh, yeah. Everyone hates Mew, even the writers. So what does that mean? It must mean that she's the best, because I'm always right. She's filthy, she's loud, she's arrogant, she craves attention. These things draw me like a moth to a flame. She has the best lines of V3. She has the best love hotel scene of V3. After she dies, no one had a kind word to say to her. Except me. In her free time events, it's clear she throws herself at anyone willing to give her a chance. Luckily for Shuichi, she tries to help him bust a nut. Miyuruma was smart, but she was also very, very dumb. And I appreciate that too. Monodam! Yes! You guys got trolled. Monodam's on the list, baby. He's a real boy, unlike the other Monocubs. He is the most well-written character in V3. He's vulnerable, controlling, ambitious, intelligent, and he has a heart of gold. He is responsible for creating a second story running parallel to the story of the Killing Game. The story of the Monocubs. Rust in peace. Kiyotaka Ishimaru. When all the characters were introducing themselves at the start of the first game, Taka was the one that was making me excited to keep playing. You could say he's a socially oblivious Kaito done right. I feel a deep bond with him. He's a stickler for the rules, but he's an honest soul, and he just can't understand why people never wanted to talk to him. Him and Mondo together are perfect. He's like the cop who tries weed for the first time and makes friends with the dealer. They ruined him right before they killed him by making him unreasonable. Going Super Saiyan isn't always a good thing, so Taka rests here. Sakura Ogami. Sakura is a beast. A threat to the mastermind himself. She has the physical and mental strength to complete her goals. She was strong enough to realize that her death would save the life of her inevitable killer. She wanted to convey these feelings to Byakuya, Toko, and Hiro, but they were too scared of her to give her a chance. Hina is moved enough by her to kill everyone to avenge her. Her suicide note is extremely powerful. It's the turning point of the game, and makes defeating the mastermind the ultimate and inevitable goal. And let me just say this to the mastermind. I'm not going to just lay down and die. I will fight you, you bastard. No matter what. And that's seriously it. Toko Fukawa. I'm putting her and Genocide Jack together here just to make it easier for everyone. Toko as a character is on this razor-fine line between perfection and garbage. Luckily, they got it right. Toko takes it for best written character in the first game. She's so many things in one. The self-hating loner, but also a best-selling romance author. This huge masochist, but only for somebody she deems worthy. She jumps to conclusions and bays for blood, and she's just so nasty. She can bite back too. Then she becomes Genocide Jack, and it's just another layer to her. Maybe if she was Toko the whole time, it would have gotten old, so they made her a split personality just as great as the first. Super sick. You knew it was coming. The world's most divisive man. Nagito is Danganronpa 2. They are inseparable. He starts out as your bro, but a few minutes in I already thought something was up. Turns out, yeah, the guy has an interesting outlook on life. I probably would have kept him tied up the whole game too. He puts himself down when everyone knows he's smarter than them. He throws caution to the wind to fulfill his goals. Disclaimer, I do not want to have sex with Nagito, unlike some of these hoes. He fucks with you and helps you at each turn. He argues with you just to see if you can take it, while coming up with plausible ideas. He's the better Kokichi. I admire his spirit, his courage, and really, his insanity, because what he did in the 5th trial makes it the best trial of the 3 games to me. You didn't quite figure it all out, Nagito, but you got pretty goddamn far. So that's it. Hope y'all had a good time, I know I did. Maybe I'll make another YouTube video someday. We'll see. And, see you later.